Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome to Project Cars 2. We are racing the stock cars here at the Nordschleife, trying not to push up here into the first turn. We randomly drew pole, which isn't bad. We settle in second right now. Figured with NASCAR being off this weekend, some stock car racing was needed, but into that car in front of us there. I wanted to try something a little bit different. These things are massively heavy, massively wide, and we can get into the cars just a little bit here. Good drive through that left-hander. We're doing 2 laps here, and they are very long laps indeed. So I need to keep all 4 tires on the pavement, get good power out of here. We're geared fairly short, so there's 2 points on the track that we are going to sort of top out on our overall top-end speed. Over the hill, catch some air, let the car settle just a bit, roll to the outside, get that good apex, or at least try to keep that momentum going for the entire length. And this is where we're going to hit top speed just momentarily. The other is on the that very long backstretch coming to the start-finish line. Nice and easy, walking on eggshells, letting the car set before we get this hairpin right-hander and down into second gear. Try not to overshoot. The heel toe is massive here, otherwise the car gets upset. You get that clutch release oversteer, and you've got a lot of power to the rear wheels, so when that happens and you're not ready for it, you slide out. Almost top speed right here. We'll downshift into third and then sweep, let the car sort of slide in and let the car slow down naturally. Definitely not the most aggressive, but we're still driving the wheels off of this thing. We're not going to be setting any super lap speed records or anything like that. We're just trying to hang on and keep the AI out of our mirror as best we can. Sweeping left-hander right here, and then another left-hander right here. A little bit more sharp than what we're used to. We don't want to slide out really loose on exit. The car gets especially free at the crests of all these hills. So unlike an oval track where you bury the car into the banking, there's no such banking here except in the carousel, and it's a very low speed corner, so you don't really get that banking effect that you would normally. But the hardest turn on the speedway coming up right here, down into third, down into second. Let it roll as much as we can here. We'll get a little faster in its cousin. I sort of break the Nürburgring into several cousins. So you have that turn, and then you have this turn, which are very similar. Not exact, but if you remember that one is there, you remember that the next one follows. We try to power out of this hill as best we can, crest the hill in a straight line so we don't get all loose. We get to Lauda corner. Try to keep it as flat as possible. The car will want to drift, and then heavy on the braking here down into third. The better we can roll through this turn, the faster we can go through the forest. Not too bad there. We're on the low end of the torque spectrum though, so you know it's almost safer to run a little higher gear so you don't spin the tires. If we were hot lapping, we would definitely gone down a gear and try to power out as quickly as possible, but it's mainly about maintaining that track position that we have and not screwing up, which is very easy to do in this heavy race car for sure. Oh, clip the curb there. We can curb this car just a little bit and push wide. Ooh, that could be bad. Technically, or you know, when cars get out to that outside and those rear wheels get into the grass, it loses all traction and you get that D-wedge and the car will just pivot at a moment's notice, and we'll try not to let that happen here. Get good power out of this turn and upshift right before the carousel. We'll try not to get thrown out of it. It's a very easy corner to overshoot. Yep, right there riding, and we're almost shooting out of it, but not quite. I mean, we could have taken that better. You can see the cars in our mirror now. They're really closed up. They probably got through that section before the carousel much quicker than we are, but they are right here on our tail, at least the green car is. This turn is about a lot tighter than you think it is. We try not to overshoot. Oof, that is a narrow part of the racetrack. If you don't have your line set or your speed set, you will go off, and this grass is treacherous on both sides of the racetrack here. We'll set up nice and easy. We'll ride third gear for the majority of this section. The other cousins, the right-hander into a right-hander going uphill. We have several of these in quick succession. So they're almost like a mirror image of themselves. And we get to this right-hander here, try not to slide out. This is YouTube corner coming up. A lot of the crash videos you see online are from the stands just off to our left. You see guys go out into that gravel pit and really screw up on their way over here to the left-hander. And this left-hander is deceptively tight. It tightens on the right-hand side. If you carry too much speed, you'll find yourself in the grass very quickly. You catch a little bit of air here possibly, and get the car settled back and try not to overshoot. A very narrow approach. This is like shooting the Death Star trench run right here. You've got walls on both sides and you're going very quick in as straight a line as possible. Not much room for error for sure, but we are getting a lot of power here up through the gears. And we'll have a right-hander into a couple of lefts, including the little carousel in the left-hander after this one. We enter a little bit shallow there. We could have swung a little bit wider to carry that speed. But here's a little carousel. We'll try to take it in third gear and not get spit out. Really loose there. Catch and pitch and catch. And if we can hit this turn right, we'll be set up well for the longest straightaway in the world, I imagine. I mean, this thing is, you know, it's long, it's fast, and we're going to top out. Here we go, up to fourth gear, dropping the hammer, and we're just going to ride for about a minute. Nürburgring Castle would be up there to our right, but the windshield is taped up so much that we can't see outside of the 6 inches in front of us. So, you know, very narrow margin for error here. Right there, we've peaked out. We could have adjusted our gearing, but I went with the stable circuit default setup just to put in a lap here as best we can. Now this is all about courage and going as far as you can. We lay off the gas just a little bit, let that engine compression slow us down, and then get right back to second gear. And that is one lap at the Nürburgring. We only have one more of those to go. We'll round out this 90-degree right, and here we go. So now that there's no pressure in the mirror, we definitely don't want to screw up, and we almost did right there. Drove in a little bit too deep in that first turn. Pretty fast section through here. We'll keep the power down as much as we can, but it's all about letting that car balance out and settle right before you get to the power. If you get to the power too quickly, your car will spin. So we need to hit our braking markers, and you can see how loose the car is even under a stable setup. When I get back to the gas, the rear end wants to pitch out. But so far so good. It's easily pitched and caught. And then we'll have this straightaway right up here where we should catch air at the top of the hill if we are hauling the mail like we should be. Although I may let off just a little bit to keep the car from sailing too much. We did get some air there. Hopefully the car is planted enough. Try to catch the apex. We were a little bit slower that time around, but safety is key at this point of the race, especially with one lap to go. We don't want to screw up. Very fast section here. We'll let off the gas, touch the brake just a bit to settle the car and hug that line. And here we go, heavy braking into the hairpin. Not too bad. We overshot just a bit. Car is loose. Get the power down, and down the straightaway we go. This is a pretty exciting part of the racetrack. The compression at the end of the bumps will load the car up. This is about as close as we can get to oval racing right here. Car is planted, feels good, but then we're going uphill, very light at the top of the hill. Wants to slide out from under us here. Let's try not to overshoot this very slow section, and try not to spin the tires too awful much, maybe a quarter to half throttle until we get to second gear and in a straight line. It really harkens back to the Skip Barber ways of driving, where if you've got wheel in it, imagine that there's a string between the bottom of your steering wheel and the gas pedal, so as you turn that wheel, your foot has to come off the gas proportionately. And thinking about that has made me a little bit smoother around here, but definitely not the hot lapping Jimmy Broadbent, how fast can a stock car wheel around the Nürburgring, but we're definitely doing our best here. I'm an oval racer by nature, so to survive a few laps of this place is a pretty tall order indeed. I couldn't imagine doing anything like a 12-hour or 24-hour race in a GT car here. That would be intense, especially with weather. All right, nice and easy on the slowest turn of the racetrack. We've got its cousin here at the end of the straightaway. We'll see if we can carry some speed up the hill here. Luckily, we've got plenty of power to the rear wheels that if we are a little bit low, the car can pick up where we leave off. It's not a momentum car, at least on a road course. If you mess up, you can get back to the gas fairly quickly. Just keep those rear tires under you. We'll clip the curb there, get on the brake, set for third gear, see if we can get through this turn quickly, and then through the forest here. I did a few races where at the end of this, in that left-hander at the top of the hill, a few cars got together, and that's where they stayed for the whole race. They actually blocked the track, so the next time I came around, I had to get into the grass really quick. Our spotter didn't warn us of the yellow flag until it was too late, and barely avoided them. Hopefully nothing like that happens this time around. I think everyone got through this turn up here cleanly. Let's settle the car, almost blow the corner. That's a very easy corner to overshoot. And if you do, you just get pulled into the grass and ride the fence for a good 200 feet. Nice, good exit there. Heavy on the braking. Let's set up for this right-hander. Nice. Okay, get the power down. Power, power, power. Nice, and let's try not to overshoot the carousel. Very carefully, very gingerly here. Let's get it down into the banking as much as we can. Nice, get power down and up the hill we go. I'm starting to get more comfortable with this section of the racetrack. I definitely feel I'm better in section 1 than section 2. But as I've been playing this track for a while, I've gotten better. He says that as he nearly overshoots. Oh man. Yeah, let's get up into third gear and let her ride here as much as we can. It's a dance on the throttle for sure. All right, nice and easy. Get the car settled when you turn in. Even in my oval racing, I tend to get the car slowed down before the turn. I don't do too much trail braking. I don't dive bomb the corners. Perhaps that's what the car would like, but that's not comfortable for me. So I do all of my slowing down before. I really do enjoy these sweeping corners though. When you can get the car pointed and get on the gas, it feels amazing. Hello YouTube corner, let's give them a show. Hop the curb just a little bit and down to second gear we go just to pick up the little bit of speed there. Here's the narrowing apex and up we go. Really light at the top of the hill. All right, let's see if we can catch some air here and get the car settled as much as we can. Nearly blow it. That was a downshift in a bad area for sure. We almost got into the sand trap. Almost lost us the race, but very fast section coming through here. That turn right there will throw you into the right-hand wall if you're not too careful. But only a few more turns to go. Very fast section of the racetrack now. Just a few more right-handers, and we're back to the straightaway here. All right, little carousel, let's do the good thing. We'll keep it in third right here, get it slowed down enough. Nope, too fast, up on two wheels, and we almost did some Sonoma, harking back to the road course there at Sears Point / Sonoma / Infineon out in California, which isn't until June in the NASCAR series, but we got some practice in here in April. So long straightaway here, up to fourth gear. Castle is up on the right, but we'll never see it. And we'll top out here. I don't see any competition in the near, so this should be a win for us unless we do something absolutely stupid at the bottom of the hill, which is, not a guarantee that we're not going to. That is for sure. All right, let's get down this hill as much as we can. We should be able to pick up a few miles an hour, but not too awful much. Our gearing is pegged, burning all the fuel. Let her coast, and then down we go into third, into second, and we'll probably hit first gear to get through the switchbacks here. I don't see anyone in my mirror. Let's cut her and power, and that is 2 laps at the Nürburgring, but that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.